All right, let's start by looking at an example of an alternating series. So we have this sum from k equals 1 to infinity, negative 1 to the k over k. And we see that our sums, our terms are alternating back and forth, negative 1 plus 1/2, minus 1/3, plus 1/4, etc. Right. All right, let's take a look at some partial sums to see what's going on with the sum of this series. S1 is just the first term, so it's negative 1. S2 is the first two terms, so it's negative 1 plus 1/2. So we're adding in this term, so our partial sum is going up. S3 is it's going to be negative 1/2, so the first two terms minus 1/3. Okay, so this is the sum of the first three terms, right? And we get negative 5/6. We can see that between S2 and S1, our partial sum increased. From S2 to S3, our partial sum goes down. Okay, S4 is going to be the sum of the first four terms here. Negative 1, negative 2. Yep, the sum of these first four terms. And this is equal to negative 5/6 plus 1/4. So it goes up. All right, and we get negative 15/24. Which is a little bit bigger than S3. So there are a couple of things we can notice here. Is that the terms that we're looking at are getting smaller in magnitude each time, right? So if we think about drawing out where these terms lie, we have negative 1, which is S1. S2 is a little bit to the right at negative 1/2. S3 is over here. Notice that we're subtracting negative 1/3 here. Okay, which is smaller than this term that we added of 1/2. So we're not going to get more negative than S1 was. We can't make up that ground. And then we have S4 here. Similarly, if we are comparing the size of the term that we are adding, 1/4, this is smaller than that term that we subtracted, negative 1/3. So we can't make up the ground that we lost. So we're a little bit to the left of S2. All right, let's take a look at the graph where we have more partial sums drawn out. All right, so here is a plot of the sequence of partial sums. So here is S1 and S2, S3 and S4, and so on. You can see that we have even terms are all decreasing, right? Here, and we have that our odd terms are all increasing. What do you think? Is there a limit to this sequence of partial sums? It really looks like there is, right? Especially, so it looks like these values are getting closer and closer to some number. And if another way to think about this is plotting S1, S2, and so on. Here, we're marking off where these guys live. We can see that these are bopping ever closer to what appears to be some single value, that we're going up and down, and it looks like we're going to end up being squashed towards some limit. Okay. It appears that this series converges. Next up, we're going to look at the alternating series test, which will say that this kind of picture occurs in lots of examples, and we are going to see convergence, and it'll tell us how to look for that.